Hey guys, I'm over here in Foley Square. I just had to step away from the courthouse because there's just so much chaos and so much going on over there. Basically, I was in the courtroom today for the start of week 2 of the trial of Sean Diddy Combs' federal racketeering and sex trafficking case. Very, very interesting. They got a lot done. They got the jury empaneled. The jury was sworn in. They were given all of their orders by the judge and all the rules and everything that they have to abide by. Number 1 is do not discuss the case with anybody. Do not go on any social media sites. Do not go on the internet looking for stories about Sean Diddy Combs, all of that type of thing. But here's the big deal, and here's what really happened that is just making a lot of news that I want you to know about. Hear from me. They did the opening statements, basically the opening statement by the prosecution, the lead prosecutor, Maureen Comey, who is the daughter of the former FBI director. She was basically saying that Sean Combs committed crimes for 20 years, and we will prove that he used his business empire, his employees, his close inner circle, in order to conduct these crimes and to commit these crimes of trafficking, interstate prostitution, and so forth. So that was her thing. Then Tenny Garagos, she's the daughter of the famous defense lawyer, Mark Garagos, who you've probably seen in some of the documentaries. He's been doing a lot of media and stuff too. He's been in court as well. She was basically saying that, listen, we admit that Sean Diddy Combs was an abuser. He's taking responsibility for domestic violence. She did. This was the opening statement, so she didn't give a lot of specifics, but that's what she was saying. But and that basically he's guilty of domestic abuse. He is a man who likes to have many women at the same time. He likes baby oil. That is not a federal crime. That was kind of the tone and the tack that she was taking, the direction with what her comments were. But the real explosive stuff came in the testimony. So the first witness was the guard at the hotel, the Intercontinental Hotel, in May of 2016. That horrific video that we all saw of Cassie being beaten in the hallway. He was the security guard who came up there afterwards and helped Cassie get out of the hotel and get away from Combs for the moment. So basically, he walked her back to the room. He kept Combs away from her so she could grab her bag and her phone and get out of there, which at that particular moment she did. So that was his testimony. That was pretty straightforward. They tried to poke holes, the defense tried to poke holes in it, but what could they really say? The guy is a law enforcement officer now. He files reports. He talked about the incident report. But the really explosive testimony came from a male strip show manager, who some are calling an escort, named Daniel Phillip. So he testified that he got a telephone call for a booking for a bachelorette party. You know how they have the strippers for the bachelorette party for the ladies, get the, turn up the temperature, get everybody all excited, have a lot of fun. He gets to the suite at the Gramercy Park Hotel. This is the first encounter he had with Cassie and with Combs. And he gets there, and instead of a bachelorette party, Cassie answers the door in red lingerie with a red wig, sunglasses, red platform shoes, and basically says, I'm sorry if you were misled. This was just for me and my husband. And he didn't know who the husband was, and he didn't really know who she was at that particular point. So he goes in, he testifies. This is everything he's saying on the stand at court. He testifies that he went in there. There was a table, it was a suite, it was in the living room, that they gave each other baby oil massages, always a lot with the baby oil. And he said Mr. Combs really liked the baby oil, and that she asked him if he wanted to have sex. He had sex with her, and he said there was a man in the corner wearing a white bathrobe, a red bandana covering the lower part of his face, and a hat on. And he was there watching in the corner, and he was pleasuring himself. I'm going to keep it PG here, but you know what I mean. So anyway, so that was the first time they were together. Then as he's leaving the hotel, she gives him several $1,000s cash. He goes outside, and then about an hour later, she calls him back and says, hey, can you come back? So this time he comes back, and they go through, round 2 or 22, whatever it was. And then this continued for, oh, am I blocking your car? Oh, so back to Daniel Phillips. So he testified that this was the first of many, many experiences that he had with Cassie. Of course, he later found out that the man was Sean Combs. He said she always set up the meetings, these encounters, and whatever you want to call them, experiences. She always set them up. She's the one that always paid him, and that these went on, and that it stopped at a certain point when he saw Combs hit her, and that was too much for him. Now, while this testimony is happening in the courtroom, Sean's Diddy's oldest kids were there, along with his mother and the three daughters, Chance and Delilah and Jesse. They walked out of the courtroom because they kept talking about how many times he was pleasuring himself, and this is coming after they showed the hotel video, you know, the hotel attack scene video. So that it was a lot for the daughters, I think, and they walked out of the courtroom. But it was a lot. It was a lot for me, even just to listen to it, because you hear it over and over and over again. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this shakes out. Cassie's expected here in court on the stand this week. You guys probably know she's very pregnant, and is the key part of their whole case. Without Cassie, the feds really have no case. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, and I'll keep you posted. Follow me, please. If you want to know the latest, get alerted when I'm going live. I'm going to try to do more lives. In the courtroom, it really is bad because we cannot even bring phones or laptops or iPads or anything into the courtroom. So I'm kind of going a little stir crazy not having my phone for that long and all this information coming out. So I'm on my second notebook already, and this is only the second week. But anyway, that's the latest here from court, and just follow me, spread the word, and I'll try and post as much as I can, okay? Love you guys. Bye.